Good morning, everyone, and happy Thursday. I hope everybody had an awesome Christmas and New Year's. It is, was it the 2nd? No, 3rd. Yesterday was the 2nd. Today is the 3rd. It's Thursday. Today, Christmas comes down. I usually leave it up through New Year's so I can have it on New Year's, but would have started it yesterday, but my daughter she was meeting a friend, so I dropped her off and I was running around yesterday. So, my lips are all chapped. I'm like, ow. Ooh, don't look at my sink, it's a mess. I am back on keto today. We just sort of, hand there. We just sort of enjoyed Christmas and New Year's, and New Year's Eve is always kind of a junk food night for us. We just sort of eat what we want, and so I weighed myself this morning and I am up 10 pounds. I was like back up to 299, so I know most of it's water weight and I'm just bloated as all get out. I can like you can hear it. It sounds like I'm getting sick, but I don't think I am. Like I've been feeling like crap for like a week, since Christmas, and eating all the Christmas things. So I am back on keto, hard and fast now. So this morning I am actually going. I need to add more water to my pot. I'm making it's beef and butter kind of day. I'm doing just some like ground beef in a bowl, and I'm going to be using these little guys. Hold on. I have got these little guys. They're the egglet things. I actually really like them. I had to add a little more water back to my pot. It had been boiling for a while. They're actually really great. The key to using them, though, if you just put an egg in them, like it shows you in the commercial, you just pop an egg in them and go, your egg will stick to the inside. I don't care that they're silicone. It does not matter. It's going to stick. So the key to using them is just to take some butter. Like I always have a little tub of butter. I've actually got 2 of these tubs, and when the butter runs out on one, I switch them out and wash it. Take a little bit of butter and smear it on the inside of your cup, and then crack your egg inside. I've tried it with oil. I've tried it with, I think coconut oil was okay, so long as you like stuck it in the fridge, like to let it solidify on the outside. But butter, just use butter. It sticks to the outside of the silicone, and I don't know, it doesn't, like if you use oil, the oil just drips down to the bottom and doesn't stick to the side, but the butter sort of adheres and gets in between the egg and the silicone. So I'm doing a couple of poached eggs, and I've got some ground beef in the microwave. Oh God, don't look inside my microwave. I need to cook that some more. I do my pre-cooked ground beef. So that's starting boiling, and I'm gonna go ahead and put these guys hot inside. Don't fall over. Alright, and we're gonna let those cook. I cook them for 8 minutes because I like mine soft boiled. See you back. Okay, so my alarm just went off, so I'm going to take my fork and slide it in there and lift our little egglet out. And I have an ice bath left over. It's not really icy, it's just sort of cool. Left over from some hard-boiled eggs I did earlier for my husband's lunch. I'm actually just going to set them in the cool water. I don't really want to shock them. I just sort of want to cool them down. I don't really want them getting too cold. I just need to be able to handle the darn things. So I've got my my beef sitting there, and I am going to get a little bit of cheddar cheese and sprinkle that on. I don't know why these bags aren't sealing right now, but okay, I'm just going to do a pinch of it. Sprinkle that on top. Okay, now I'm going to take the lid off of this guy. Should be able to hold it now. I'm going to take the lid off of that guy and put him on top of my beef. Okay, there are my 2 little eggs sitting on top of my ground beef. Gonna cut into one of those guys. My yolk is beautiful and runny. And I am basically just going to break these guys up and mix them into my ground beef. And that is breakfast. Okay, so this is what it looks like after I've basically mixed everybody together. It kind of reminds me of Eggs Benedict. My mom always did Eggs Benedict with sausage rather than the Canadian bacon ham stuff. And so with the sort of soft poached eggs or the soft boiled all mixed together with the seasoned ground beef, it sort of reminds me of the Eggs Benedict my mom used to make. I couldn't think of the word there for a second. The Eggs Benedict my mom used to make when I was well, she still makes it periodically, but for the most part when I was a kid. So. Good morning, everyone. Today is tomorrow. I realized last night after cooking dinner and everything that I hadn't recorded any of it for my what I eat in a day. So, yeah, I took some pictures. Actually, that's what kind of triggered the memory. I was taking some pictures for Instagram and realized that, oh yeah, I didn't record any of the cooking. But I'll post a picture right here. We had bacon wrapped pork tenderloin, cheesy broccoli, and green beans. They were like the steam-in bag, and I went ahead and steamed them and then tossed them in the pan with pepper and garlic powder. So like butter in the pan, pepper and garlic powder on top of that. They were yummy. I love, as I've said before, I love green beans. So, and I mean, come on, how can you go wrong with cheesy broccoli? That's pretty much a staple at our house. About every other day we're having cheesy broccoli, which I'd like to branch out a little bit, but I know my husband and my daughter will eat it. So, I don't know if you can hear, it's pretty soft. I don't know if you can hear it. I got Babby in the other room. She's in her exerciser seat watching Sesame Street videos on YouTube. They've got like they just posted recently like a 2-hour playlist of songs. It's like Elmo and Abby and Rosita and Grover and big, just everybody singing and having a good time. So she likes those. I think it was their best of 2018 compilation or something like that. So she's sitting happy. This morning I am drinking a cup of coffee. That's about it. It's coffee, sweeteners. I use a combination of Trivia and Splenda because I like the way it tastes, and half and half. And it's the leftover maple flavored coffee from November, October, whenever I bought it. Their fall collection of coffees. They had some winter ones, and I would have liked to have tried those, but nobody got them for me. So there you go. So I weighed myself, and I don't remember if I mentioned this yesterday or not. I weighed myself, gained 10 pounds in 2 weeks. 10 pounds in 2 weeks. That's insane. My weight was back up to 299. I know most of it's water weight, because I was bloated as all get out the last 2 weeks of Christmas, or last week of till Christmas, week before Christmas, and then the week between Christmas and New Year's. And I just, you decide, yeah, I'm just going to enjoy the holidays and eat all the things, and it's delicious. And it was delicious, but then you feel like absolute crap. Like you can hear, I don't know if this was me trying to get a cold, or if this was just all of the inflammation and bloating, and I sound terrible. I've been taking Zicam kind of preemptively, but I sound awful. I felt terrible. I'm day 2 into keto, and I feel so much better. I weighed myself last night just for grins and giggles, just to see what it was. I was down 2 pounds. So I was at 297 last night, and then I weighed myself this morning. I was down to 295. So I know a lot of it's water, because I am peeing like a racehorse at this point. I did make some like low carb pancakes for me and my daughter yesterday. When the cravings hit, I do get I know a lot of people are like, oh, that's not good for you. It's that Carb Quick? Yeah. It's like the low carb Bisquick. It's basically carbulose flour and like shortening and some other stuff. It's a Franken food. It's not great for you, but when you're trying to stay low carb and you're like, oh, I just want cookies, or I just want, I'm going to eat all the things. It's good to have, I keep hitting the thing and I'm twitchy. The arm keeps hitting the desk. It's actually wearing a spot on our desk. Gotta put a little piece of something there to keep it from doing that. When you'd like dying for, like, I wanted pancakes yesterday, like, bad. I was watching a YouTube video, and the guy made low carb pancakes, and I was just like, pancakes sound awesome. But I am picky about pancakes. Pancakes growing up were one of my favorite foods. And if it don't taste like a pancake, it ain't scratching that itch. So I like the Carb Quick because it does taste like flour. I mean, it is a little, there's something a little off about it, but not enough to be like, ew, this is disgusting. I think they changed their formula. Like, I'd had it years ago, and there was a weird aftertaste that I didn't like, but I bought it recently, like within the last year or so. And the flavor was much different. There wasn't that funky aftertaste anymore. So what I did was I used the recipe. There's a recipe on the side of the box for pancakes, and it's like 2 cups of this stuff, an egg, a stick of butter, like 1/8 of a cup of heavy cream. So what I did is, I've made them before, and I found that they just sort of fall apart. So I added an extra egg. So I did 2 eggs and an egg white, and they held together beautifully. But what I did was I only used a cup of the Carb Quick, and then 1/2 cup of almond flour and 1/2 cup of flaxseed meal ground up. And they were damn good. I will fully admit that they were absolutely delicious. They got crunchy. Like, I like to put butter in the pan, and then the bottom of your pancake ends up being the top, but you got that little crispy edge around your pancake. They came out crispy. They were yummy. So that was good. I have like 1 left over that I may do today. I might heat it up and eat it. I don't know. I might give it to my daughter, because that's the kind of mother I am. I'll give you my food. I love you, and I'm willing to give you food. So yeah. And then the dinner that I posted a picture of, that was, as my daughter says, it's the good. And it was, I love the bacon wrapped tenderloins that come from Publix. There's like 2 in a pack, and they're really, you just take one out and you cook it for 30 minutes at like 350, 375. And boom, you got dinner. We ate both of them because bacon wrapped pork. Yeah. I keep hearing the baby. She's happy though. Loves Elmo. As I've said before, when baby loves Elmo, mama loves Elmo. But she likes Abby Cadabby too. She's Elmo's very friend. Very friend. But yeah, so this morning I'm down to 295, which is awesome. The other thing that I actually do, and switching diets like this, and just kind of a friendly, I'll probably do a video with like a sort of helpful hints to get back into ketosis and keep from feeling like crap when you do it. I don't necessarily have the keto flu like a lot of people get. I tend to eat good. I salt my food. I don't eat crap, and I don't cut back too hard when I'm coming back into things. But one of the things that happens is when I switch my diet drastically, like the last 2 weeks before and after Christmas, I'm eating all the things. I'm eating all the junk. I'm eating all the stuff that I never eat, and it wreaks havoc on my stomach. It does. You think, oh, I'm going to enjoy it, and then you're in the bathroom for 45 minutes. Yeah, I'm really enjoying that. So getting back into keto, one of the issues that I have, a lot of people have constipation. I have the opposite problem. It like everything runs through my system, and I stay away from raw vegetables during this time. I don't know, being keto, I'm not crazy about raw vegetables anymore. I like them cooked. I don't, maybe it's a nutrient thing. I don't know. But staying away from raw vegetables until your system kind of adjusts and get used to everything. The other thing I do is take a fiber supplement. I know a lot of people don't like to do that. I find that it stops the runs like that. I do a combination because I make shakes for my husband in the morning with a little bit of like blueberries and strawberries, and then yogurt and stuff for him because he has other stomach issues that we try and keep control of. So I use a mixture of Metamucil, generic's fine, and Citracel. Again, generic is fine. And it's a 50-50 mix. I keep old jars and I just mix everything together and shake it up. I will do 2 heaping spoons, not measuring spoons, but just like your regular tablespoon. 2 heaping ones of those into about 8 ounces of water. I do this in my bullet blender because I want it smooth. I don't want it clumpy and nasty and bleh. So invest in a good blender. And it doesn't even have to be a really good one. Aldi's has a generic bullet blender that we had before the fire. My husband killed it, and he does things like that on occasion. He turned it on and then walked away, just left it running, and blew the motor out. But it works great. It probably would have still been working had we not had a fire and my husband not killed it in a horrible, horrible death. But yeah, I invest in one of those. It makes things so much easier, especially when you're blending other things. I'm surprised at the amount of stuff that I do blend now. Baby formula is so much easier in a little bullet blender. You can do a bunch of it and refrigerate it. But anyway, so what I'll do for him is not him, he gets shakes. What I do is I take 8 ounces, the smaller container for the bullet blender. It's about 8 ounces of water, 2 heaping spoons of the fiber mixture, and then like half a scoop of protein powder. Protein powder is optional. You don't have to do that. A lot of times I'm doing it like as a breakfast replacement. So that's why I do that. And give it a whir and walk away. Don't drink it right away. The problem with that I find with like Metamucil and things, the Citrucil just dissolves. But the Metamucil, the psyllium husk, if you drink it right away, it tends to be really grainy. Like you can, nasty texture. If you let it sit, the gel develops, and it sort of, any of that graininess, it kind of coats it, so it doesn't taste that way anymore. So let it sit anywhere 5 minutes or more. Like I've walked away from it for a while. I've come back like an hour and a half later and been like, oh yeah, I was gonna have that thing. Throw a little ice in it, war it up again. What happens is the gel has developed. It's now this yummy, thick, I don't know, and it's not slimy. It's not, once you blend it again after the gel develops, it's not lumpy or gooey, or it's just sort of smooth. And you can put anything in it that you want. Like if you want to do like a little slice of avocado, that makes it sort of creamy and yummy. A couple of strawberries and, maybe like 5 or 6 blueberries. It's kind of what I do for my husband in the morning. That's breakfast. But I will do that, and I will sometimes just do the fiber. Like if my stomach's getting a little wonky, like I can feel it sometimes after I eat, and I'm like, oh, this isn't gonna be good. I'll go and take some of that fiber. Now, if you don't like the idea of the Citrucil, or you don't like the idea of all the artificial sweeteners and things, you want to get the sugar free of these. But if you don't like the idea of the artificial sweeteners and stuff that's in it, you can just use psyllium husk fiber. Or you can do like a different blend. You could use a little bit of flaxseed, flax meal, psyllium husk fiber, or what is that? Acacia fiber, I think is another one. That one pretty much dissolves in you can put in your coffee. I've used that one before. That one gave me a little gas though. But I've never had a problem with Metamucil. I've never had a problem with Citrucil. Don't have a problem with flax. Just something to sort of bulk the system. Because your system now is used to having all this filler stuff you've been eating. And now you're taking all of that away. And it's still providing the acid and everything for what it was used to eating before. So by doing, when I first start, I'll do maybe 2 of those shakes a day. I'll do one in the morning and then maybe one with dinner, or one kind of mid-afternoon. Then you can sort of back them off. Do one in the morning, but only use half the amount of fiber, and slowly start to kind of back yourself off of that sort of stuff. What is it? Probiotics. I couldn't think of the word. I'm like the little pill with the stuff. Probiotic capsules help with this process too. It is not fun. The fiber will also can I'm not going to say it will, because my personal experience is with diarrhea. The runs, I get it, it's terrible. I can't speak for constipation. The only time I've ever been constipated in my life was while I was pregnant, and that was horrible, and I don't ever want to experience it again. I was this close to telling my husband to take me to the hospital because it was bad. But that's the only time I've ever experienced any sort of constipation. I took Metamucil and stool softeners for that. I don't know if that'll work for you. I've heard Metamucil works, or fiber therapies work for people with constipation. Other people, they say no, it doesn't. So it's just sort of up to you and how it works for you. But that's sort of my tip for the day. If you're finding that you're getting into ketosis, and you are spending half your day in the bathroom and it's just water, you're like, oh my god, this is terrible, my stomach hurts, my butt is raw, try some fiber. Metamucil, the generic, is cheap. So is the generic Citrucil. I like the blend of the two. They're both orange flavored, so it's not like you're mixing two weird things. Like my husband bought chocolate flavored protein powder for his shakes in the morning. Time before last, he bought protein powder. I'm like, chocolate? I think I told him chocolate because I was thinking about something else and didn't realize we were out of vanilla, and then he wouldn't buy more vanilla. So, chocolate and orange and berry. No, not a good combo. But if you're just doing plain psyllium husk, you could do like a chocolate protein powder with that. There's no flavoring in it. But anyway, that's my tip for the day. TMI conversation, but yay! So yeah, we're back at it. I just had a coffee today. I'm probably gonna go make one of those shakes now that I'm thinking about it. It is food day for us. I hit the local pantry because it's Friday. So I'm probably gonna do that. My daughter's home, so I'm gonna try and get Babby down within the next 30 minutes or so for her nap. Fingers crossed. And then I'll just leave her here with the eldest one. I'm in charge. So we'll see how that goes. But usually I can get out of there pretty quickly. I used to go first thing in the morning, and it was you sitting there for 3-4 hours. Just, but when you go a little later in the day, it seems to move quicker. I'm only there maybe 45 minutes to an hour. So I think that was all I had to talk about so far. If I think of anything else, I will hop back on, and we will talk to you later.